What's up? Whale Pants here with the Disc Golf Guy on his channel, doing the back nine coverage of the 2018 Beaver State Fling with some super good players: Ricky Wysocki, Philo Brathwaite, Nate Sexton, and Dustin Meow Meow Keegan.
Round four. Chase card.
Chase card, if you will. We're doing some ordinary Miller for you guys, and it's going to be awesome.
No one knows what that means.
They'll figure it out. Thanks again, PDGA, for all you do. Woo! After the front nine, we see Philo with a hot start. The other players are just getting going, but there's a lot of birdies on this back stretch, so we'll see what they can do.
Did it stop raining already?
I guess so. Good for them.
That's kind of Oregon for you. It'll rain, and then the sun will come out, and you'll take all your jackets off, and then it'll do it all over again.
Rick just smashing a drive way up there. Dustin playing the more...
A little more
conservative shot, keeping the hyzer, putting himself in bounds, and trusting that he's good enough to get up and down from there.
This drive is really easy to overdo it because you can definitely play with that right side and skip it off the road, but it can easily not skip off the road, hit the curb, and stay out of bounds.
I know, Tina.
I'm sorry.
Nate flirting with it a little bit. This wants to catch its edge. Get up.
And that's way down there, but he's going to have to take it from where it first went out of bounds.
Never done that before.
That's the risk.
And now this shot is really tough because you want to be throwing that full power shot, and now you really can't even, you can't realistically reach the green.
He got a drop. Did you see the wind drop it?
That was pretty rough.
That wasn't a bad throw at all. That's
He gets
brutal.
a good lie up front. Philo with the awkward stance. Typical Oregon stuff.
Laying it up. I think he went for it.
No one trickles OP.
This island is very small. It looks small, but it feels even smaller.
That's the reward if you do throw a much farther...
That went out of bounds too.
A much farther approach. And Rick is putting. So if you, a much farther drive, so if you really go for it, you're in really good shape to just have a nice putt.
Okay, one of them stayed in bounds.
Try to get your birdie here. Hope that one stayed in.
Oh no.
Sorry, Nathan.
That's so frustrating.
It
is kind of a hill. It's a very small hill, but it's enough that anything that's like picks up can easily roll back out of bounds. So even those putts are risky. That's unfortunate.
Not what you're looking for, but
we've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
That hole can get you so fast.
Nate's a great golfer. He'll recover and show that he's here to play. Dustin cleaned up his par after the trickle OB on his approach. Rick carding the only birdie on this hole, which is always a good feeling. Philo, always a good sport about it. Hole 11 is another two-shot hole. We're not going to see any putts for two or anything. It's just a really big open shot, trying to get your disc to get left so you can open up the gap.
Yeah, if you throw it too straight on this hole, you end up behind those trees, and it is really hard to get around anything. The basket's pretty much on the exact opposite side of that, but it's so bushy, there's just no way to get through it. You have to go around.
And Dustin's was really nice and still almost made the road. You can tell that there's some water.
But this is what you don't want to do. And it's in the tree.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, it's a giant tree.
That tree might be older than time. I'm not sure.
But
really
this is
big.
another one too. You have to throw a good far drive, but it's easy to overdo it and pull it too far right.
Nate with the
That's
great
great.
recovery. Especially after the last hole, it can be easy to try and overpress or be challenged.
Blackberries. Marionberries.
Is this a Philo sidearm we're about to see? Guys, remember this. It's like a unicorn spotting.
Whoa. Just disappeared.
He made it out the other side, which is the best you can really do from there is get yourself out and try and recover. The rain has picked up. See the jackets on. Great shot from Nate Sexton.
That's a lot further than it looked like. That's actually a really big shot. Same thing.
Dustin with a great little force over sidearm.
Ooh! Uh-oh.
And that ended up out of bounds.
There's a fence and a drop off to the water back there. There's a river that runs around this entire course. And it's right there.
That looked just
that
as
was
far.
A smash, though.
Another Philo sidearm.
When the hole calls for it.
What is this? Where are we? And that was a great shot from Philo. In all honesty, Philo has a great sidearm. He doesn't use it because he's such a good player with his mid-ranges, his rocks, stuff
that was a
like
great
that.
putt. Good job,
Good
Kitty.
par save.
Yeah.
That's a bummer of a OB stroke, but it's a great par. So back-to-back birdies for Rick. We will catch fire on this backside. Good putt from Philo. Great par from where he was. I realize catching fire on this backside is like lighting fire under your butt. It's really weird.
Really? Really? All right.
Hole 12, 400-foot island hole. This is probably one of the smallest islands you will play. And go in. Ricky.
That was crazy.
Showing how it's done, getting the tree love.
This island's smaller than the other island we saw everybody getting hosed on.
This is a great play from Nate. He's looking to catch some of that same love. Get over there.
That's great.
What a shot. See a little bit of the rain. See if Dustin can match those lines. It's a little higher, a little wider.
Which is definitely a play, too, if you can just spike it in there.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this is an impressive card. They're making it look easy, but I promise it's not that easy.
Is Philo going for it, too?
Looked like a
Go,
layup to me, but I think you'd want it a little wider. But honestly, that's kind of the play. If you can get it out close enough to the basket, you still have a putt for 3. Oh, wow.
Bummer.
I thought that was in for sure.
And that is honestly one of the biggest things at the pro level is how much you commit to a throw. Philo, on that one, I'm not saying he didn't commit, but he might have just backed off slightly, and that's the difference from a 2, and now he's taking a 4, which is that's one of the biggest things. So if you're listening at home, which you probably are because you're watching YouTube, maybe you're not driving. Please don't drive and watch YouTube. But back to the point, commit to your throws. It helps you become a pro.
Did you have a Red Bull?
No, I had a Hum kombucha. Get your Hum at a Target or any other Hum retailers. Ad. Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. Really, though, they're wonderful.
Yeah. Hole 13 is, in my honest opinion, probably the most difficult par 3, unless you're Ricky Wysocki. Whatever,
What?
dude.
I don't think I've ever
Go
seen
away.
anyone get there.
It's a 455-foot tunneled par 5. I thought Dustin was throwing, but Nate came out of nowhere. And he's throwing a roller. I like this cut roller play because it just will put you in a good spot. If it cuts through the tree, go, baby. And he's going to have a look for 2.
that's a tricky two.
But this hole is very long and very straight, and it's really, really difficult to keep these high-speed discs straight for a really long time and then still bank on them finishing. So there's a couple options. You can, just throw it as far as you can and then approach, or don't do that. There is even a hyzer play where you could just hyzer it way left, almost kill people on the next tee pad, and then pitch it up. That's what I did. And I got my par.
Congratulations. That's a great upshot.
Dustin's showing that he knows how to work a frisbee. I think we might have missed Philo's, but the rain was pretty heavy at this point. Great putt from Nate.
He's all hunched over under this giant tree. I've been under there a few times. It's not easy.
Rick, 2 birdies on this hole is super impressive. Right after I said it's probably the most difficult par 3.
Yeah, but they made the last hole look easy too.
Yeah.
Staring that basket down.
Watch it, Philo.
You better keep it.
Hey, don't forget it.
These baskets have been at Milo for years and years and years. And it shows, but they're still good baskets.
And look, Rick has caught fire, 7 under par. We're on to the par 5.
Raincoat Ricky.
It's like 1,000 feet. Yeah, 1196. Really far. Par 5. You're going to see probably a lot of rollers. There's some air shot plays out there. And there's a short tee pad that's just around the corner, which is a pretty good landing zone. So that's where a lot of these rollers are trying to get to and put you in a situation to where you can throw a pretty routine shot, maybe even another roller to give yourself an option to get up and down.
Most of the hole up and down. Most of the hole after this tee shot is pretty straight, and then the basket's hidden behind a tree. And there's a lot of trees in the fairway, but the first shot is like the trickiest, and you just really hope that you end up in the middle of the fairway.
Philo with a great shot. Nate, you can see this rain coming down. I don't know if you guys can, but it is coming down. Throwing sidearms, just keeping it simple. That's a good play from Rick, just trying to get as much distance. And that's what happens when you, on this hole, is all you want is to be just moving forward. You want to be able to throw a good shot, 350 plus, and keep chipping away at this 1196 to try and get yourself a look for that birdie 4. But in the end, a par on this is stupid good. Feels great. I think I went 5-5, and it was awesome. I think a lot of these players, if you were to tell them they were going to take 10 strokes on this hole at the weekend, they wouldn't be too mad.
Stand up. Oof, that's risky.
It was a great aggressive play, but when this rain and everything, it's really hard. But
I know Katrina Allen went like roller, 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 roller on this hole. Which, it's a great way to get distance. Hey!
Finds a way through the tree. What tree?
Looks like Ricky slipped. He looked down immediately, but that grass is slick after 3 days of rain.
Come on, flex on him.
Came over a little much.
It's really easy to do in the rain, is to flip something over because you're expecting maybe a slip or you can't throw it as good as you want. And Ricky slips again. But he's still committed to the throw and may have a little
short, but
yeah, may still have a look to save his 5.
For a slip, that wasn't a bad shot.
Get over it. Come on, girl. Nate's giving himself a look, which I think he'll be super stoked about, considering the conditions.
Dustin ended up in an okay spot for a roller.
All right around the same place. Another Philo sidearm.
Rainbow.
Gotta love it.
Maybe he throws more sidearm than you know.
I know. This is a new Philo. That's a tough look. These bushes are grown up and hides a lot of the basket, so you're kind of just playing for what you can see. Now opening, you ring up the chains. It's a little short from these guys.
Yeah, not easy putts for any of those. Not what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
It's
especially with the way he's been putting all around. He's been jamming stuff from that range, but he's the kind of person that'll get dialed, and I don't think we see him missing another one like that.
If there's any hole to get you, though, this one will wear you out very easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a long hole, and you have to stay focused the whole time. If you get in any trouble, you're adding a stroke or two. It's just really easy to do.
Wait.
Is that bogeys for everyone?
That is a sixes around.
Mm.
In the conditions, with the slipping, the rain.
The rain comes out of nowhere.
That's all right. Another 400-foot hole perched on a mound. This is one of the more as iconic holes out here because it's beautiful. Like, this is a disc golf hole. It's one of the hardest shots in our game. 400 feet, dead straight. If you fade off left, you're having a uphill putt. You fade off, you turn it over right, you're having a putt. But if you can keep it straight and slide it up on that mound, whew, no better feeling. He takes his time. Smash. He's not gonna like that. And it scoots forward, so it should be a pretty routine.
Really worried about his footing, but once those tee pads get slippery, there's so much moss and and leaves and everything out there. It's just those tee pads aren't really holding up to it. They put in some new ones, but this isn't one of them.
That's the thing, when you're working with these state parks, you know, you just can hope that they will get there, and that's how it's done.
That's a great shot.
That you can work with them to get new stuff to make everything better, but I know the Oregon disc golf crew is always doing what they can to make Milo what we all feel like it is one of the best two courses in the country, maybe even the world.
Do it. Wow. That was a great putt. It's huge. Look at that.
He's basically in the next county from where he threw that from. What a putt from Nate.
You're a dork.
I know.
Whoa.
Ricky from also.
What county is he in, Eric?
I don't know. The Clackamas County? Is that a county?
That is an Oregon county, yes.
Nailed it. Boom.
Nailed it. Nice.
And Dustin being the only par in this hole, that's
pretty crazy. This is not an easy hole.
Philo probably was looking at it as he was going to take a stroke on the card, and he only gets a stroke on one player. That's shows you how good disc golfers have gotten over the little bit. Rick still gets himself back to 7 down. Philo and Dustin at 4. Nate get himself back under par, which is great. Hole 16, another par 4. Very similar to one on the front 9 where it's, you know, the same shape, but it's a lot longer on both shots. So it definitely scores a little bit harder. but you're wanting to throw a pretty straight, stable disc that has some bite to it to get out in the field. The first 2 shots we've seen have slipped out early. Not been what you're looking for.
That's the better miss. If you pull it wide, you're better off than releasing early. There's just a lot of trees on the left side.
Philo asking for that one to get left too, which is exactly what you want.
Some struggles here.
Shows you how difficult this course can be. It never once lets up.
And we haven't really been able to play it the last 2 years in like decent conditions. It's been rainy both years. Milo in the sunshine is a perfect day.
Ricky being aggressive as always.
That's way up there, but
if he's got a look in there, he should be able to salvage his par. But if he's in jail, it's going to be really, really tough. That's a good play from Nate. He should be able to access the green pretty comfortably. Philo just throwing the most beautiful turnover ever.
That was impressive.
Wow.
That's a big shot, too.
That's a sidearm for most players. Philo steps up, just says, nah, bro. I'm going to show you how it's done.
Dustin, too.
Great
Look
shot.
At that.
I love that they put this log down. I don't know what year they put it in, but it really stops the rollers from just rolling in, because that used to be the shot as you played into the field, roll it up to the basket, and you always be looking at it. And that's another great turnover.
Okay, well, I need to go do some field work when we're done with this.
Just throw a disc into the woods and say,
turnover.
Get out. Good play from Nate. Easy sidearm. Dustin capitalizes here. We're going to see some great scramble play from these players.
Yes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Again, this shows you...
for some rough drives.
Yeah,
they really fixed it.
It shows you how good the play is at the high level. This is the 3rd card. Obviously, we have a world champ on this card, and we have some of the best players that have played as well, with a major winner and whatnot. But you see these players just being able to still get themselves up and down and save pars and save strokes and manage their games. It's really impressive, and I think it's a good sign of where our sport's going.
Yeah, the scoring at Beaver State this year was insanely better than last year. It's always been hard to cash there, but especially the MPO field, it's just crazy.
It's nuts. Hole 17 is a very difficult shot. It's a tunnel, but there's some shots that you can throw over the top, but that has to get really, really far left. That branch that Ricky goes under, he goes under, has actually fallen down, and there actually used to be an even higher route that you saw players take in years past, but now you're just seeing a middle hyzer to a low hyzer, or the Nate Sexton, play to your strengths, sidearm, get yourself out into the field, and just move on and take your 3.
This is an insanely difficult 2. It's just so far left, and it's 450 feet. That
got caught up.
Short.
Yeah, it got caught up on some stuff. It's not what you're looking for. Rick and Dustin both got caught up.
But it's just not an easy shot off the tee to get something that's going to go that far left and uphill. I've seen some high-speed cut rollers that will climb up the hill, but that's the only shot that I've seen that gets you inside the circle. And even then, if you're going to 2 this, it's going to be with the throw-in for the most part.
I think the hyzer shots, the high hyzer used to be...
The high hyzer, yeah.
Used to get you a lot of 2 looks, but now with that branch grown in, it's really hard to continue to get left enough. But it's a great hole for that test players to make sure that you can get up and down for your 3. Dustin Keegan.
That's a great putt.
God, he's like a cook at a diner. He's scrambling eggs right now. It's great. Rick doing a little bit of the same. He was in the fairway, so it's like cook's assistant at the diner. Good pars from everybody. It's a tough one to get. I bet that hole played probably closer to over par than under on the weekend, but I do not know. So check the UDIS stats. Hole 18 has like 1,000 different ways to attack it.
There are a lot of shots you can choose.
Philo's throwing the flex shot, which is a pretty popular choice. You take something overstable, flex it left on the tee pad, and try and come in through this gap that you can actually hyzer through with a flippier disc. And then Nate Sexton has the skinny sidearm route that he's going for. And I've saw a bunch of lefties. When you get this shot right, you are super parked. So it's a great shot to have. Dustin with the flex,
huh? Well, on the sidearm, but you usually see a few more hyzers than that. That was awesome.
Yeah, Dustin.
That's way up there. This one's just really hard to get to. There's so much junk. As you can see, there's a lot of junk. And prickly stuff, too, over there.
Nate having to just kind of lick his wounds, take his forward to finish out. Rick always running. Why wouldn't he? He's the best putter ever.
And that's a little downhill, so tester for anyone else, but maybe not for Ricky. Get it.
That was a good bid from Philo.
Oh,
just leaving
that
a little
would have been a great two.
Being only 360 feet, it's just so difficult to access this green. So pars do feel pretty good. When you do get a birdie, you're definitely catching a lot of strokes on the field.
Finding trouble is easier than throwing a great shot.
It's a tough one for Nate, but he battled back after that little rough hole on hole 10. Stop.
Oh, no.
Stop.
Oh.
You can see it. Like, and no person ever wants to see this, so keep your head up, Philo. Played a great round. And Dustin cleans up his par. And see the emotion that these players play with. It's tough.
Right out the back, too.
What is it with these chains out here, dude?
Settle for the bogey. It's a tough one, Philo. Keep your head up. So that is the back nine final round, Beaver State Fling. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Ricky with the hot round, 7 down.
And thanks again, Dynamic Disc, for sponsoring the round coverage.
Yeah. Thanks, Terry, for being out there, getting soaking wet, getting this coverage for you guys. He's awesome. Congrats, Eagle, on your win.
Hey, guys. You got the Whale Pants crew here doing commentation on... Oh, can we start over?
Commentation.